Who's there? I called out, my voice trembling. There was no response, but the shadow moved closer. I could feel a cold presence, as if the air around me was being sucked away. The shadow stopped a few feet away from me. For a moment, I thought I could see eyes, glowing red, piercing the darkness. Panic surged through me, and I bolted for the stairs. As I ran, I felt something brush against my ankle, and I stumbled, barely catching myself. I was standing in front of Theta House, most imposing building on campus. The moonlight cast eerie shadows across the ivy-covered walls, making the old mansion look even more sinister. Tonight was the night I would pledge Theta Kappa Beta, the most exclusive sorority at Greenridge University. The other pledges and I had heard the rumors. They said Theta House was haunted. The stories varied. They all ended the same way. Someone would disappear, never to be seen again. As I stepped through the creaking front door, I tried to shake off the chill running down my spine. Inside, the house was a labyrinth of dark hallways and creaky wooden floors. Candles flickered in wall sconces, casting long shadows that danced on the faded wallpaper. We were led to the grand living room, where the sorority sisters stood in a circle, their faces partially obscured by hoods. "Welcome, pledges," said Jessica, the sorority president. Her voice was calm, but there was an underlying edge that made me uneasy. "Tonight, you will prove your loyalty to Theta Kappa Beta. Each of you will spend an hour alone in the attic." I exchanged nervous glances with the other pledges. The attic was the most haunted part of the house, or so the legend said. But we were here to prove ourselves, and none of us wanted to back down. When my turn came, I climbed the narrow staircase to the attic. The air grew colder with each step, and I could hear the faint sound of whispers. My heart pounded as I reached the top. The attic was a vast, shadowy space, filled with old furniture covered in white sheets. Cobwebs hung from the rafters like ghostly curtains. I found an old armchair and sat down, pulling my knees to my chest. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional creak of the house settling. Then I saw it, a shadow moving in the corner of the room. It was tall and indistinct, like a figure shrouded in mist. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice trembling. There was no response, but the shadow moved closer. I could feel a cold presence, as if the air around me was being sucked away. The shadow stopped a few feet away from me. For a moment, I thought I could see eyes, glowing red, piercing the darkness. Panic surged through me, and I bolted for the stairs. As I ran, I felt something brush against my ankle, and I stumbled, barely catching myself. I didn't stop until I was back in the living room, gasping for breath. The sisters looked at me with a mixture of curiosity and amusement. Jessica stepped forward, her eyes gleaming in the candlelight. "Did you see it?" she asked. I nodded, still too shaken to speak. "Good," she said. "You face the spirit of Theta House. You are one of us now." The rest of the night passed in a blur. We completed the ceremony, and I was officially a Theta sister. But the experience in the attic haunted me. I couldn't shake the feeling that something had followed me back down those stairs. Over the next few weeks, strange things began to happen. I would wake up in the middle of the night to find my bedroom door wide open. Objects would move on their own, and I often felt a cold presence watching me. The other sisters brushed off my concerns, saying it was just my imagination. One night, as I was studying late in the common room, I heard footsteps in the hallway. I assumed it was one of the other sisters, but when I looked up, no one was there. The footsteps continued, growing louder and more frantic. I followed the sound to the staircase leading to the attic. Summoning my courage, I climbed the stairs once more. The attic door was ajar, and a faint light flickered inside. I pushed the door open and saw the shadowy figure standing in the center of the room, its red eyes glowing with malevolence. "Why are you here?" I whispered, my voice barely audible. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it moved towards me, and I felt a cold hand grip my wrist. Panic flooded my senses, and I yanked my arm free, stumbling back. I fled down the stairs, my heart pounding in my chest. As I reached the bottom, the attic door slammed shut with a deafening bang. I knew then that the spirit of Theta House was real, and it was not happy. I spent the rest of the night huddled in my bed, unable to sleep. The next morning, I went to Jessica and told her everything. She listened quietly, her expression unreadable. "We all have our ghosts," she said finally. "Theta House has its own history, its own secret. The spirit you saw is part of that. You must learn to coexist with it, as we all have." I tried to follow her advice, but the encounters with the spirit continued. Each time it seemed more aggressive, more desperate to make its presence known. I knew I couldn't stay in Theta House much longer. The haunting was taking a toll on my sanity. Finally, I decided to leave the sorority. I packed my things and moved to a different dorm, far away from the haunted house. As I walked away from Theta House for the last time, I couldn't help but glance back. The old mansion stood silently, its dark windows watching me. I never spoke of the spirit again, but the memories lingered. Theta House had marked me, and I knew its ghost would follow me in my dreams for the rest of my life. And so, dear listeners, as the last echoes of our tale fade into the shadows, remember that the night is long and full of whispers. But fear not, for you need not face the darkness alone. If you've enjoyed tonight's story and wish to brave more terrifying tales, be sure to subscribe to Haunted Whispers. With every toll of the midnight bell, we'll be here, ready to guide you through the realms of the unknown and unexplained. Don't forget to like this video, for every sign of appreciation keeps the shadows at bay. And if you dare to walk with us on every haunted journey, click that notification bell. Let its chime be your warning that a new nightmare awaits. Until next time, keep your lights on, your doors locked, and remember, in the world of Haunted Whispers, not every story ends when you stop listening. Sleep tight, and may your own midnight whispers be nothing more than dreams, or are they?